Now, the propagandizing is really, it's an overdrive, right? They're doing their absolute best, because understand the only way that, you know, obviously the leftoids could win is by grooming children. You know, they're not having children, obviously, so they're going to have to groom you in every way possible. They're going to have to convince you that diversity is actually our greatest strength, not by presenting any form of logical argument, but by creating a simulacrum of reality. And that's where Hollywood comes in, baby. So the Odyssey by Christopher Nolan is coming out, having Lupita Nyong'o, this woman over here, playing the very white fair maiden Helen of Troy, and Elliot Page, a transgender, playing Achilles. Now, to be fair, transgenders are incredibly violent people, so I think this casting might be a little better than some would say, but this is insanity. Complete and utter insanity, and obviously, for some sort of agenda. Let's be real here, this is not because they're trying to make the movie great. Like, bruh, this is like, this is absolutely diabolical. So I wanted to look into an actual professional's opinion on all this, because it is obvious that it's going to be some sort of propaganda. To be honest, I was really excited when I heard that Nolan was making the Odyssey, because Christopher Nolan has made some good stuff. And I'll be real here, this is like the ultimate, like, historical epic that we could truly make a massive impact on the market. And then they decided, oh yeah, we're going to get some queer, lesbian, transgender black person to be playing Zeus. All right, and it's like, all right, bro.
If there's one genre I'd love to see make a serious comeback, it's the historical epic.
Yeah!
Swords and sandals, gods and monsters, battles and adventures, legendary warriors and terrifying villains. I mean, Hollywood's flirted with the idea from time to time over the past couple of decades, some more successful than others. Don't worry though, 300, you'll always have a special place in my heart.
This is Sparta!
The way he said this is Sparta and kicked the black guy. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a joke.
But it seems like this year, things might finally be changing. Christopher Nolan has turned his gigantic quantum space brain away from discovering the secrets of the universe and assembled one of the biggest all-star casts in
No shot this is the cast.
modern Hollywood.
Oh my god, it's all the cucks. He literally got the cuck Avengers. Charlize Theron and Anne Hathaway and Elliot Page and Tom Holland and Zendaya's probably the most astroturfed person of all time. Like, she is not a good actress at all, but they put her in literally every. She's also just incredibly mid. All right, I'm not like one that normally comments on women's looks, but like, we are literally putting these actors and actresses to into like up to the main stage, man. Bro, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is like average Polish or Israeli barista just absolutely mogs the shit out of, you know, American actresses right now.
For the Odyssey, a retelling of Homer's epic saga about the Greek king Odysseus and his decade-long journey to get home to his family after fighting in the Trojan Wars for another 10 years before that. Meanwhile, his wife has to keep the home fires burning and contend with the unwanted advances of men who want the crown. It's actually kind of hilarious when you look at all this on a map, because a journey from Troy to Ithaca is only like 500 miles by sea, and it should have taken him a couple of weeks, but man, the gods just had it in for that fucking guy.
That's right. Honey, don't piss off Poseidon, I guess. I'm home. I mean, to be fair, though, to be fair, if they make the gods libtards, this would make a lot of sense. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just trying to understand the quantum space brain of Christopher Nolan for a second. If the gods are libtards trying to push an anti-natalist propaganda message and simultaneously fuck with some random guy just because he kind of pissed them off a little bit, this makes a lot of sense. Turn the other cheek is not a Greek philosophy, actually. That is a very Christian philosophy. So maybe making them just insufferable libtards is all part of the plan, question mark?
Look who the fates dragged in.
Anyway, stories don't get much more epic than the Odyssey.
True.
It truly is one of the great adventures in human history.
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you, and this might piss off a lot of people. The modern Odyssey is One Piece. All right, everyone thinks that the modern Odyssey is gonna be coming out of Hollywood. The modern Odyssey is the One Piece manga. Yeah, I know, it's crazy to think about, but it's true. Think about it for a second and you'll agree with me.
Blending together mythology, religion, monsters, and the unbreakable determination of the human spirit.
That's
and
right.
Bringing it to life on screen is
That's
a
right.
challenge that will strain the very limits of modern filmmaking. But now that I've seen the trailer and I've considered the artistic vision behind this movie, I have to say my reaction was meh. I don't know what it is, man. There's just something about this movie that doesn't quite stir anything in me, which is pretty surprising because
Yeah, this is supposed to be the GOAT.
In theory, at least, it's got all the ingredients for success.
Yeah.
The kind of source material that's practically tailor-made for epic Hollywood films.
It's almost like they were like, well, we need like the ultimate Giga Chad fantasy to push our narratives a little bit because we're losing the young men in the droves. We are losing droves of young men.
Making the kind of all-star cast that only comes together once in a generation, and a director with a mostly good track record as a filmmaker. So why the fuck does it feel so bland? Well, to try and answer this,
It's really hard to talk about Western culture being a fucking Giga Chad, absolutely awesome civilization built on the back of heroism, and masculine determination when they are literally trying to push the absolute opposite message that actually Western civilization is shit and men are bad. So it's really hard to kind of fit those two things together.
let's take a closer look at those key elements again, shall we? First of all, there's the source material. Nothing wrong there, right?
Wrong.
Well, the problem is that the Odyssey was originally written in ancient Greek, obviously,
Okay.
meaning that it has to be translated into English for it to be legible. And
All
what
right.
kind of story you ultimately get very much depends on which translated version you read.
Uh-oh.
In this case, Christopher Nolan has publicly stated that
No.
he's a big fan of the 2017 adaptation
The libtard translation of the Odyssey, there's no way!
of the Odyssey,
There's
which was
no
translated
way.
from Greek by British writer Emily Wilson. Why exactly does that matter? Well, because Emily Wilson
Is
just
a libtard, bro.
so happens to be a hardcore progressive feminist who specifically set out to reimagine Homer's text through a female-coded, gender-critical, postmodernist
no,
lens.
no!
Because of course she did. Basically stretching the very limit
I'm literally so mad. Like, bro, they will rape everything you care about. They will use your oak door as firewood. Your universe means nothing to them.
of the original text to bend it around modern sensibilities. It's the same kind of creeping, cloying, well, I think what he really meant to say here was bullshit that gave us 2026's Animal Farm,
what a
story
nightmare,
that
bro.
went from a parable about the Russian Revolution to a ridiculous, shallow, capitalism bad piece of Hollywood slop. That is the version we're likely to get here with all its gender identity navel-gazing, and if that doesn't raise a few red flags, then let's take a closer look at that all-star cast, shall we? Now, Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway are solid enough as the two leads, at least. I mean, if I was to be super critical, I'd say that Hathaway hasn't done anything particularly significant since, well, the last time she was in a Christopher Nolan movie, and she was arguably the worst thing about Interstellar, but that's a conversation for another day. I can't say I'm ever particularly excited by an Anne Hathaway project, but holy shit, is she making a comeback this year. In 2026 alone, she's in 5 separate movie projects, one of which is playing in the cinemas right now. But speaking of overexposed actors that we could all use a break
I don't even know why she's
Zendaya
here,
is in this movie as
Like,
a
why is she even in anything? I don't even know why they put her in anything.
the goddess of
Like, she's known for her scowling expression, and that's about it, actually. Because, you know, Western women are scowling bitches, I guess. Is that what we're trying to say? Probably not. That's no way that's the message here, right?
wisdom. Holy fuck, man. This girl's become the female equivalent of Pedro Pascal. She is just everywhere all of a sudden, and for the life of me, I cannot understand why. I have never seen a single Zendaya performance in my
Never seen a single expression other than scowling. Bro, they literally got resting bitch face and decided to put her on every single Hollywood movie.
life and thought, oh my god, she absolutely carried this movie. Tell me, what's your
I like the way she looks down at the guy, a little bit haughty, but also a little bit disgusted at the same time.
favorite Zendaya expression? The angry frown, the confused frown, or the confused angry frown?
Yes.
Yes!
Elliot Page is also in this movie. As what exactly? I don't fucking know. A drummer boy, maybe?
I think Achilles, bro.
Page is like 5 feet tall and weighs 90 pounds soaking wet, so I don't really see how they're gonna fit in amongst all those big
And a retarded woman.
Greek soldiers and terrifying monsters. Lupita Nyong'o is widely rumored to be playing the Greek princess Helen of Troy, which if
That's
it
a
turns out to be
nightmare,
true
bro.
would make about as much sense as Papa Asuido playing Severus Snape, but hey, what can I say?
It's Hollywood, baby.
Thank you, Rachel. But the thing that stood out for me about the entire cast in this trailer was just how bland and mundane they all look and sound. Every time I saw one of them, all I thought was, oh yeah, there's Robert Pattinson, there's Charlize Theron, there's Tom Holland. Where are the larger-than-life mythical figures of legend that should be leaping from the pages of Homer's epic to a
You know exactly the problem. It's because Hollywood hates men. It's because this is an entire... It's an attack on masculinity in general. So they have to get the most cucked out, retard dudes to play every single fucking role ever. All right? That's why. All right? They literally got a trans... They literally got a woman, a retarded woman to play Achilles. All right? Let's be honest here for a second. This is an attack and an affront on masculinity as a whole, bro. So that's why they're gonna get the most cucked out dudes to be like, these are your male role models, actually.
us all. It all feels weirdly subdued and underwhelming, and a big part of that decision is to have them speak with American accents using modern terminology.
My dad is coming home.
Oh, your dad's
My
coming
dad.
back, is he? Did he take some bitchin' selfies? Hope he didn't get godmogged along the way.
Damn.
There's a reason movies like this traditionally use theatrical English and formalized language for their dialogue. It gives them a sense of grandeur, seriousness, and dramatic weight.
I mean, I'll be real. I love the Lord of the Ring accents. I love the Game of Thrones accents.
Naturally lend itself to the epic story they're trying to tell. Having your actors talk like they just walked in off the street in downtown LA just feels weirdly lazy and immersion
Yo,
breaking.
dude, that's a Hydra, dude.
Before anyone chimes in with little pearls of wisdom like,
Yo,
Drinker, you know
Zeus,
as well as
bro,
I do, they would
bruv, Zeus, please, bruv.
have spoken Greek in a story like this, so why does it even matter what accents they use? Well, hypothetical straw man, we all know the language
No,
they would
I
have
agree,
spoken,
actually.
but we all...
I totally agree with this guy. Like, there's a lot of dipshits that are like, oh, what does it actually matter? It's not like they spoke English anyway. It's like, it's not the point. It's really not the point.
also know that having your entire cast learn a whole new language just so the audience can sit through 3 hours of subtitles is neither practical nor logical. That doesn't mean that you have to go in completely the other direction and give us shit like this. Let's go! And this all brings me back to the man at the center of all of this, Christopher Nolan, the director and writer.
Oh boy.
Now, I know the man has a fan base so rabidly loyal that they make Snyder Bros look like fucking normies, and he's given us some fascinating films to chew over in his time. But I'll be honest here, the guy can also be his own worst enemy at times. Sometimes he really is just too smart for his own good. Rightly or wrongly, he's developed a reputation as a clinical, intellectual, and slightly sterile kind of director, a master of ideas who can't seem to wrap his head around simple humanity. And
I mean, to be real here, I think he did The Dark Knight, right? And I think that was amazing. Inception was great. Even recently, he did Oppenheimer, I think, and that was really good too. It did feel weird. He's like, Oppenheimer, super giga genius autist, having really weird, awkward sex scenes throughout the movie. Like, I get what he's saying.
I get the impression that's always chafed at him, especially with his more recent movies where it feels like he's got something to prove. Like the weirdly out of place love scenes in Oppenheimer that feels like two androids replicating their understanding of a human relationship.
It had nothing to do with the actual plot at all.
The man definitely has a niche, but character-driven historical epics don't seem to be it. And with Odyssey, it's like he's saying, see, there's more to me than sci-fi thrillers and slightly overrated superhero movies.
I could
And
also
don't know,
make
man.
transgender demigods slaying the Hydra, which is obviously a metaphor for white people.
And from the casting to the dialogue to the bleak washed out cinematography, I can't shake the feeling that he just isn't the right man to direct a movie like this.
We'll see.
I mean shit, maybe I'm totally wrong on this one. Maybe the Odyssey will be the crowning achievement in Nolan's career and raking more money than Avatar. Or maybe it'll turn out to be his own personal albatross. Time, as always, will tell, but I'll be interested to see how it pans out one way or the other.
I guess.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This feels like a gigantic propaganda slog trying to reinvent the most masculine tale they could possibly think of as like their Hail Mary. This'll get the white guys to support the Democrats, guys. This'll do it. This'll get the white people to start loving migrants or whatever the fuck. It's like the Hollywood slopaganda age is over, bro. No one cares anymore. And at some point, AI films are just going to completely remove every gatekeeping ability that you have to create anything. All right, and I am honestly waiting for that age. Since the end of World War II, I feel like the entire world has been so utterly lib-cucked, it's insane. And that era is ending. And no matter what you cry about, no matter how many Hollywood slopaganda films you produce, we're never going back to that world order.